let me go back. All right, so 7th grade, middle school is right around the time I started football and music. Prior to that, I'd never really been athletic. I'd never played any sports really, or never played any instruments. I'd always been big into music. Who really got me into music was my mom and my dad. They had really good, very broad music taste. One of my favorite bands growing up, starting in like 3rd grade, was Kiss. I loved comics, and I'm still kind of a nerd, but I thought it was so cool that these dudes who were in these comics also played rock and roll, and it really got me into music. And I remember the only reason I did choir was because Paul Stanley sang, so that was a big influence on me. From there, I just really got into rock music. I mean, those guys were a huge influence on me. So I got into middle school, and I don't know. 6th grade was rough for me because I used to get beat up every day after school, and it was rough. It was a rough time. So I had a hard time fitting in, and 7th grade came around, and I knew I needed to brighten my horizons, and so I looked into sports. I wasn't really big into baseball, and I was riding my bike one day, and there's this police officer that pulls me over. I'm freaked out, and I'm like, am I speeding? Like, what the hell? Like, I'm just riding my bike here. I was terrified. The police officer was actually one of the South football coaches, and he pulled me over, and he asked me, kid, do you play football? And I was like, no, but now I do. So I went home and told my parents, I want to play football. So I signed up for football, Red Barons, and the rest is history. I've learned so much from football. It'll always be really close to my heart. Favorite sport by far. I've made so many friends and learned so many things from it. It was like late 7th grade, early 8th grade. I remember the day it happened. I saw the movie Walk the Line, and I did Johnny Cash documentary or biography, and I just remember watching it and being like, wow, I really want to do that. So I told my parents I want to play guitar. That's what I want to do. And, I signed up. My mom got me signed up for lessons, and signed up for lessons with the Music Academy, Christmas Music Academy, and that's what really plunged me into the whole guitar scene. So I started playing freshman football under Coach Panizzi. It was great. I met a lot of guys that I'm still really great friends with today. Sophomore year, went to JV, got brought up as a sophomore to the varsity level under Coach Brandon. That was pretty intimidating. It was always really scary looking across from me and seeing a guy who is 2 years older than me with a beard and tattoos. And here I am, just some sophomore. Senior year came around, and the past senior class and the coaches had nominated me and elected me captain, and that was a huge deal for me. Senior year as a football captain, I had a blast. This was probably my favorite year I've ever had in terms of football. We were 1-3, very rocky at first. The direction we were going in wasn't the one that any of us on the team wanted. But from there, we turned it around. We ended up going 6-3, and we made it to playoffs. We got knocked out by Cass Tech, but they're kind of like the football team of the state. So I was just really proud of the guys that we had turned everything around. And looking back on it, I had a blast. So I wouldn't change anything. It was great. It's about August now, and I remember thinking, auditions are coming up soon, and it was hard juggling football and music at the same time, especially physically. Your hands take a lot of beating. It's hard going from hitting 320-pound human beings, hurting your hands, and then going to play an instrument. It's rough, and it's just really tiring. I audition at Wayne State University, that was coming up, and I was super nervous for that because I found out that I was playing with a live staff, and I'd never played with a group in such a intense setting that I didn't even know the names of. I mean, they expected me to come and play with people that I didn't even know and people I've never even rehearsed with. So I was very intimidated by that. Prior to all of this, I had emailed one of the professors, and I rudely didn't call him professor. I called him Mr., and I was already on his bad side. So I figured, I looked at it like this, like I'm already in trouble. I haven't even started playing, because he'd emailed me back. He was really upset about it. And remember, we got to Wayne State. My mom and I got to the music department, and I looked at the building. It was beautiful, extremely intimidating though. They call it Hogwarts because it's so big and well designed. It's like early January, right? And a couple weeks go by, and I'm sleeping in bed, and my mom wakes me up, and she's got a letter in her hand. She's crying, and it says Wayne State Music Department on it, and I'm just like, oh God. Like, I'm just gonna go back to bed. Like, I'm tired, dude. Like, whatever, I guess I didn't get in, whatever. And she gives me the letter, and I open it up, and it says you have been granted a full ride, and it had all the financial stuff on it, and I earned it through the music program, and I felt really awesome. I just felt really great, and I was actually shocked for the longest time. I think for like a week, I just couldn't grasp the idea that I got in, because I didn't even think I got in. I thought I embarrassed myself, and I thought I didn't play my best. Of course, I feel like people in general are always their worst judge, but I was in shock. I didn't think I even got into the program. So to find out I got a full ride was truly humbling, and it was awesome. I called everybody up, all my friends, my family. I called my guitar teacher up, and he was probably more excited than my parents. I mean, my parents, I'm really thankful for everything they've done for me. Music's expensive, and paying for instruments, paying for lessons, it's expensive, and none of that could be possible without them. But my guitar teacher was so happy for me. He was like yelling on the phone, just so happy, and he was probably the happiest out of everybody that I told for me. And he was just so, he's really invested in me as a student, and it was great. He ended up taking me out to lunch, and we just talked about more music, and we talked about the music scene down there, and he went to Wayne, and he started giving me tips on what to do and what the environment is like down there. I love downtown, but it was really fun talking to him about it, and sitting over breakfast, talking about my music future and everything. So I also auditioned for Hope College. I took an audition there, and Hope, it's a private school, it's much more expensive, but I auditioned there, and I actually qualified for several scholarships that were only awarded to about a few people, like 3 or 4 people. So that was a really big deal. It was a big scholarship, but it wasn't quite a full ride, and that's why I'm leaning more towards Wayne, just because it's free tuition, and my guitar teacher told me, there's a lot of people that would love to have what you have, and I'm truly humbled by that. But I feel like I could really take advantage of having a free tuition to college that I really like. So, in terms of scouting at the college level, I was being scouted by several D3 schools, a couple D2 schools, and one D1 school, Butler. That was a big deal for me, because that's a good school, and it was not only the first, the D1 school that I got into, that I got accepted to, in terms of football, that I was being scouted by, but I also got accepted into them academically, and that was a big deal for my family and I, and I was shocked. But that just, I think it proves that you can be really smart, but your resume needs to show a lot of stuff too, because I had the music, I was in symphony orchestra, concert orchestra, 2 jazz bands, I'd been in rock bands on occasion. I'm in the Triumph Music Honor Society. And then I was a football captain, so a lot of people don't. I think that really separated me from the rest of the people applying. So it was really a big deal for me. Northwood was looking at me, Hillsdale, Wayne State. For like underclassmen out there, I would say like college is awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I can't wait. I can't wait to move out. But I think the best thing you can do going into college, getting ready for college, is use your resources, use your talents, use your knowledge. Knowledge is power. Use all those things to help make your future, to help get as little debt as possible for college. I think that's very underutilized in terms of in youth. A lot of the youth of America, they're not using their talent to help pay their way through college, and I think it's one of the smartest things you could do. To probably just get involved in your community, do as many clubs and activities as you can, because it goes very far.